So you're slightly right. It's not about trying to give the rich more money. It's about understanding that the way that the global world works, you tax rich people to the hill. They'll move their tax somewhere else that they can get it smaller.
But it's
That's
already,
always happened.
they're already on
But
offshore accounts.
But that's what I'm saying. So that already happens. So see if you start raising them up, what you're probably going to do is the people who are still investing in the country are going to do the exact same thing. So you're not actually getting the money. And this is, I always disagree with left-wing politicians on this argument because I just don't think that the economics make sense because
But
these
you know, like
people are
somebody
so
would move
much.
up, but so somebody, so say like you taxed a billionaire, they went, do you know what, you're taxing me too much, I'm off, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Do you know, think a millionaire would step in there, or like somebody
They could, but then what you end up having is a system where the people who are investing in the country, I don't want investors to leave Scotland, I don't want investors to leave Britain. The investors
I think we should get rid of the people that,
no,
that
I
are
disagree
sucking
with
us
that
dry.
because the investors are the ones. So when you look at the housing crisis we're facing, the investors are the ones who are going to build the homes. And by the way, seeing we're building the homes, all the jobs that are in that building site are young people that I'm talking about who are the apprenticeships. So it's about trying to find a system that's fairer. So Reform's policy on this is twofold, right? So that we had an Amazon tax in our manifesto last year, the contract last year, which was that for these big super global companies, there should be a higher tax for them to have to pay in, and that money would then get put into the high streets. So that's something that the media didn't talk about because they like kidding this idea that Nigel's all for the rich. Well, there's one policy that wasn't. He wanted to go after the big super
So what
rich.
was that? Didn't
So it was an Amazon tax, and I can't remember the exact detail off the top of my head, but it was something along the lines
is
of.
that something he's going to be putting in the
Yeah,
manifesto?
so it was in the contract last year for the general election, and I suspect it will continue on for the next 5 years. And what it was basically, if you're a big global company, then you should be taxed, and that money would then be invested into high streets because obviously we've seen the difference in retail.
Yep.
So that's one policy there. The other one that they've spoke about in the past couple of months is the Britannia card. And what that is that since Labour's brought the changes into the non-dom system, which I slightly agree with, but I kind of at the same point don't have this. I have the old argument of the people are now just pulling away. So the amount of investors that have left this country since Labour's come into power is huge. And all that money was all creating economic growth that then creates the prosperity that we need to then be able to fund public services. So what Reform said is we'd have a card system that you want to invest in the country, you buy your Britannica card, you would get tax dividends absolutely when you come into the country, but you need to pay them up front free in order to get this money. That money will then be invested in to try and make sure that you cut the tax threshold for people who are on the poorest. So there's a system there that you can do it properly where you're no clobbering people who are absolutely loaded, because I always want to stay in a system where work pays. Now, work pay should be at the very bottom, but it should also be at the top. If you're working 7 hours a week and you're a CEO of a major corporation, then you should be getting the money that you're getting, but you should be paying your fair share. You should be paying your fair share.
Do you think you should have like £500 billion in the bank?
Well, if people have worked to get that, then fine. But what I'm saying is it depends on where they're taxing that and where they're investing that. And the people who are up there, they are the investors.